Welcome to Louisiana Heartbeats. I am Pastor Charles Banks, your host on today, and so today I have a special guest here in the studio with me, so that I want you to sit back and relax and get on the telephone and call somebody or tell them that, hey, we are here on AOC K-Down Open Channel, and we have a great guest speaker here today to go talk about his ministries and where he's from and where he's came from and all those good things. So that, hey, we welcome you today for watching us here on AOC. And my special guest today is Pastor Rob Johnson with Louisiana Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having us.
How you doing, Pastor Johnson?
Doing fine, sir.
It's good, man. Glad that you are being part of this show today. And I just want to say, man, welcome to K-Down Open Channel, Louisiana Heartbeats.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here today.
Well, that's good, man. And so that, you know, that Pastor Johnson, I didn't really know you. You know, that I always heard someone used to tell me, I think it was Erica Williams, used to tell me, man, you need to meet this guy, Pastor Johnson. And so that they said that he always doing things in the community kind of like you do, Charles. And I said, well, what he be doing? You know, people say that, you wonder, what they doing, but you were doing the work of the Lord, but that's good right there. And so that, matter of fact, I saw you and your wife when they had the march.
Unity March.
The Unity March. And so that I saw y'all over at the Martin Luther King Center. And so, but I never did get an opportunity to reach out to you, and say hi and things like that. But but my thing is, though, that the time comes, a time for everything.
Everything.
It's a time for everything.
That's right.
That's right. It's a time for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the time did come that when you came on board, when I called you up and asked you, would you like to be part of the Second Chance Job Fair?
That's correct.
Do you remember that?
Yes. Golden opportunity to impact this community as well.
Sure. And so that I remember when I come on, that I felt your spirit. The Word of God says, try the Spirit by the Spirit, huh?
That's right. That's right.
And your spirit is good. And they said, this is what you do. You're about giving back to the community. And you told me, hey, I'm just a servant, whatever you want me to do.
That's exactly right. That's my motto is to serve God and serve people.
Right. And and we need more of that.
That's correct.
People serving, serving the Lord. See, it ain't about the title.
No, it's not. It's not. Titles won't get you into heaven. Only what you do for Christ will last.
That's right. That saying been around a long time.
Oh, a long time. That is absolutely correct.
And that's in the Bible.
That's right.
And so that I say to you is that we did the Second Chance Job Fair. You remember that?
Yes, sir. A big event, over 900 people, and it was amazing to see people who struggles to get jobs but have an opportunity with your vision and bringing the community together. Sure. Was an awesome event.
Sure. And so that I once again to say thank you for your support. Thank you for your church also for your support. And so that I know that we had talked in the past that you're originally from Thibodaux.
Thibodaux, Louisiana.
What about?
Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Hour and a half drive from here.
Wow. And so they just kind of asked that what brought you here to Lafayette?
I was in the ministry for about 9 years before I came here with the United Methodist Church. I was pastoring my home church for 9 years, and I was pastoring another church for about 7 years in Thibodaux. And in the year 2010, my wife and I was down here visiting my middle son, Ryan. He was attending UL, and we was heading back to the hotel. On
occasion.
Occasion, that's right. And we was heading back to the hotel, and we was on College Saloon, and I looked at my wife, and I said, baby, God said we need to be ministering in the Lafayette area.
Oh, wow.
And my wife turned to me and she said, babe, God is speaking to me too. So in 2010, I shared it with my district superintendent, Ed Boyd at the time. And he said, let me think about that, because I know he'd been trying to get me to go full-time ministry. I was doing part-time ministry. And he knew the work that God had been using us for. And finally, in 2013, we came to Lafayette to restart a church named Emmanuel Malibu United Methodist Church on Louisiana Avenue. Church was closing. And I just remember the voice of God, like he told Isaiah 6:8, here I am, Lord, send me.
Wow.
And I said, Lord, send me. And it came, and it's challenging, but but we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. We're starting to see what God wants us to do in this great city. And God said, I I was His chosen one to come
Wow.
to restore and rebuild, just to come and help the people.
Sure. And so that you was pastoring there in
Thibodeau.
at the Methodist Church there, correct?
Yes, sir. My home church, Calvary United Methodist Church, where I
wow.
was born and raised at.
Born and raised there. And so that you was there 9 years, huh?
9 years, and at Magnolia United Methodist Church for 7 years.
Okay. Wow. So you've been in the ministry a long time.
Long time.
So just kind of, we're talking here, just kind of, that, one thing about God, when God puts something in your spirit, God allowed to come.
That's right.
And my thing is, though, you said God was speaking to you.
Yes.
That people don't understand that God has to speak to you for you to move.
That's right.
And it make me think about when he spoke to Abraham.
All right.
He told Abraham, I love that. He
Uh-huh.
told Abraham, you got to leave some people.
You got to leave.
You
Yes,
got to
yeah,
leave. He
that's
told
right.
Abraham, you got to leave.
You got to leave.
And so Abraham had to leave, and he said that I'll put you in another country. And my thing is, though, that, and you have to hear from the Lord.
That's
you know?
right.
And my thing is, though, I'm sitting here listening to you say, me and my wife. So that day he said, when 2 or 3 come together.
Yes.
And y'all was together on the same accord.
Same accord. Yeah.
And now you come here, and now that you're pastoring the church, and so some people don't understand that you have to have a relationship
Yes.
with God to walk out.
Oh, yes, without. To trust Him, too.
Sure.
Because this was scary to me and my wife. I was working a job and pastoring 2 churches. My kids were adults. I got 3 kids. My wife and I have been married for 31 years. And for her and I to both to be in agreement to say, let's go and move. And she had a job.
Sure.
But God gave us a favor because her company transferred her to Lafayette to work out the home.
Oh, wow.
That's when we knew that this was all God.
Sure,
to
sure.
come to a place that no one, to go to a church to restart, and when you restart and have to move people,
Right.
People get angry.
That's right.
But the favor of God, and I knew I had to walk with the full armor of God to do His will.
Yeah. And so that transition from Thibodeau to Lafayette, how was it as you walking in, becoming the new pastor of Louisiana Avenue United Methodist Church? How was the transition there? Sometimes, I'm going to say this, people don't like changes.
No, people don't. But changes help you to grow.
That's right.
Changes help you to grow.
And so can you just kind of tell me, how was it coming from Thibodeau to Lafayette? How was you accepted? And how was it, that as you went into the church, that you were going to your parishioner? How was it?
Well, first thing I must say, God sent 2 people to meet me here when I started. And one of them was Pastor Mark Lewis, who's in New Iberia now. He came and met me at the church and took me around, visiting places, telling me where places at. But then I had lunch with Pastor Lloyd Johnson from Progressive Baptist Church. And he just enlightened me and told me what the spirit of Lafayette is. And he was the first one to accept me as a pastor in this church. And one of the things he told me, he said, just by your spirit, I see great things are going to happen.
Oh, wow.
He said, just by your character and your conversation, I see there's going to be an overflow at that church. And I think God sent you here for a reason.
Wow.
And he was one of the first person that really accepted me into this community. But one of my visions been, since I've been here, when I was back home, I knew pastors for the Tri-Parish area, from Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche, Morgan City area. I knew ministers, and we always gathered together. We always did things together, and without denominations. And when I was in Lafayette, I asked a question. I said, what do the clergy do together around here? Like Seven Last Word, revivals, and mostly everybody responds, well, we didn't do nothing together. So that was one of my goals and my visions, to bring us together as one, because we all have the same job, we all have the same goal.
Sure.
To find lost sheep and to build God's kingdom here on earth. And but it was challenging. For a while I tried to reach out to people, nobody was responding. But God, grace and mercy saw me through, and I kept the faith to know that I might be the chosen one to bring people together, just like you.
Sure.
He have brought us together,
That's right.
and we've been doing a lot of things in the community together.
We
so
have.
that's a blessing from God.
Yeah, it is. And that I've been here about 10 years now. You know, I come here during Katrina, but I wasn't pastoring then. I was just a minister. You know, then I began to pastor. You know, and you say Pastor Lord John. Pastor Lord John is a great guy, great man with knowledge and wisdom and knowledge. You know, and I truly have a lot of respect for him. You know, I've sat at the table with him, sat in his office with him. You know, he'll give me some wisdom here. You know, and so that it has been great. You know, great people that receive you.
Right.
You know, that people that knows this community.
Correct.
You know, knows the people in this community. And when you coming from, when you come into a strange city,
right?
You know, you don't. Everybody's not going to be there for you now.
No.
You know, and a new pastor coming in, you know, they think, well, you come to get my members, you know.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, though, my slogan is that what God has for me
is for me.
Is for me. And so that I commend you, you know, stepping out on faith and trusting God, you and your wife, and coming here to Lafayette, you know, and I welcome you. So how long y'all been here?
We've been here almost 3 years.
Okay.
We have, by June of this year, be 3 years complete. And we feel that we're in our season of increase and favor. When I first got here, the church that was closing, it was down to like 20 to 30 people in worship. And one of the first things that God laid on my heart was we had to change the identity of the church. And the church, you know, they had the name, had the sign out there.
Sure.
Well, then 2 weeks we put a sign or a banner over it called the New Church on Louisiana Avenue. And we had a lot of people coming because they heard New Church.
Sure, right.
And you know, it's just like when we was out in the club, it's something new. That's where everybody went.
Go. Right.
So we did that, and then a year after, we finalized the church to Louisiana Avenue United Methodist Church. And it's been a blessing. And you know, it's a struggle when you change it, because when people have been doing things in the Methodist church so traditionally.
Right.
But I came in, we changed the worship service, we changed the music, we changed how we greet people, how we meet people. We did some structural changes. We did some cleaning up. But you know, it's hard, just like a child. If you tell them that we got to change our route, change the way we do things, it's hard, and people pull back. But when you call by God and you're bold enough to do Paul, God is going to use you to make changes, and you change people's heart. And one of the things I knew I had to do for the first 2 years, I had to build relationship. I had to build their trust. I had to let them know that I'm here not to hurt you, not to harm you, but let us grow together. And when we are growing together, people are going to connect. And when you're growing together and you're showing people love, great things are going to happen. And we're starting to see the fruits of those labors now, you know, because everybody ain't going to love you.
Oh, no.
Everybody ain't gonna like you.
Sure ain't.
And that's the old saying I see in the church: everybody smiling, they ain't smiling.
That's right.
But I got to know that it's God's favor that's on me.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, and you know, I was sitting here listening to you now, that like you just ready to preach a while ago, like you got happy just that fast.
Yes.
Because you know, when it's in you,
it's in you.
You know, and so that's what you have to do. You have to keep the joy of the Lord, you know, in you, and that, you know, that when you're coming into a new place and it's a new church, you know, you got to have a new vision, a new mission for the people.
Oh, yes.
And that, you know, that I ask you that just kind of, can you tell us about the church, the time, the service, the location, and things like that, you know, what the church has to offer the community. You know, I know the church some churches has programs in a church, you know, y'all may have a marriage ministry, you may have a youth ministry, things like that. So will you just kind of tell the viewers, you know, what Louisiana Avenue United Methodist Church, who y'all are in the service, and what y'all got going on?
Well, we worship on Sundays at 9 a.m. We have a nursery doing worship and a children's ministry doing worship as well. We have Bible studies on Wednesday nights at 6:30 p.m. We have an outreach ministry. We call a ministry called the Brown Bag Ministry. We go out to the streets of Lafayette feeding the homeless population every second Saturday, and the public is invited to volunteer. We're starting to partner up with different organizations and groups. And what we do, we have a brown bag with a sandwich, a bag of chips, or drinks, and information about our church, and we bring clothes, hygienes, and whatever donations come, and we go to the streets of Lafayette and feed them, and we meet them, and we pray with them, we sing with them, we cry with them, we laugh with them, and we feed about 150 to 175 people every second Saturday of each month. And we also have a youth department. We have an adult Sunday schools at 8:30 every Sunday morning. We have a male choir, we have a sanctuary choir, a children's choir, we have a drama ministry. We have a dance team. So much is going on in the church, and you know, but the greatest thing is that God plays good leaders around me, because all these things that are occurring is not what I'm doing, is what God is doing, and He plays great people around me, and my wife for sure. She's our worship leader. Without her, it would be no me, because you know she has to be pushing me, and she has to be praying for me, and she has to be my ears and listen, and sometimes to tell me some things I shouldn't say.
That's right.
But I'm just grateful for her for 31 years for being there for me.
And your wife's name is?
It's Tammy Johnson.
Tammy
Yes.
Johnson. Okay, that's good. And y'all have children?
We have 3 children. My oldest is 30. My middle one is 23, and my youngest is 22. And I have 1 great grandbaby.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. And I see you have some great ministries there in the church.
Yes.
You know that I see that you can keep the people active.
Oh yes.
You know, and that's what it said that when you open churches and have a new church, you got to have a vision.
You got to have a vision. You got to have a vision.
You know, had a vision. Now I see that you're doing some great work here.
To God be the glory.
In the city of Lafayette, you know that, and that outreach ministry is just tremendous.
Right.
You know, a lot of people has to have a gift.
You gotta have a gift.
You know, to go to the outreach ministry.
Right.
You know, and I award you for that. You know, that you're going out there every second Saturday. You know, right there in the hardcore of Lafayette, right on Jefferson Street. You know, wherever you go. I think I saw y'all on Jefferson Street.
We're on Jefferson downtown by the St. Joseph Diner, all those areas.
Yeah, you know.
But you know what I found though, Reverend, is we have built relationships.
Yes.
And what I found with the homeless population, they have a relationship with each other. They look out for each other, and sometimes they're better than church folks, and they're grateful, and they want. And what I've learned on the street is there are some people that love the Lord. I've learned so many who come and embrace us, and so grateful every time I give someone something to just say, you know, we thank you for being, and we wish we had more out here doing these things.
And you know what though, these people has been put aside.
Yes.
And so that we have forgot about them.
Yes.
You know, we get so caught up on us, and you know we'll ride by them, and that, you know, but they are still human.
Yes.
You know, and my thing is though, just think about if you was there. Some people has been where these people are right now. It ought to make you want to go out there and give back to them. Yeah. You know, because that, you know, unfortunately they don't have nowhere to sleep. No. They might not have no food. They don't have clothes. You know, they don't have showers. So my thing is though that, and I think y'all go out and give out toothpaste and toothbrushes and stuff like that. You know?
Everything. Coats. We just gave coats. Clothes out, socks. We're going back on the street. We're gonna have hygienes, and what it is people are connecting and want to be a part of it. You know, one of the things I've learned in this ministry, when I came here, I asked the church. I said, "How many of y'all willing to go to Simcoe with me?"
Wow!
And only one person raised their hand, and I said, you know, so it took me 7 weeks of teaching and training about the mission of the church. You know, we preach from the Bible every day, but for some reason we skip Matthew 25. And Jesus always said the poor will always be among us.
That's right.
And that's where Jesus was. Jesus wasn't saving souls inside the church. He went outside.
Yes,
he went out and met the people. You know, and that's our mission statement. Yeah. And our mission statement is a church impacting and meeting people at the point of their needs where Jesus meets us all. Wow. Because you got to remember, a lot of us in the church was out on the streets doing a lot of things too. Yeah. And sometimes we forget those things. Sure. And you know, I ain't always been a preacher either. Right. But I have God's grace.
You ain't always been a preacher?
I ain't always been a preacher.
You sure?
I got into the ministry when I was 41 years old.
You sure? You
yes,
really?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes.
I thought you might have been preaching all your life.
No.
Oh, well, that's good to know that, you know. let me know I'm not here by myself.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
But you know what, though? You find people feel they've been in the ministry all their life. You know, and feel that, you know, you ain't never been there.
Yes,
you know, but some of us, you know, we want to hide that. And I always tell my story, and you done heard the story.
Yes.
You know, that I know I ain't been in the church all my life.
That's right.
You know, it couldn't take nothing but God to put me where I'm at today. And so that, you know, my wife always say, Charles, you always giving. You know, but you know, once upon a time that, you know, I've been there. You know, I've been in those situations. You know, I smoked the dope. You know, I smoked the meth. You know, I've been to jail. Then I realized, you know, you reach out to these people. I never was homeless. You know, but I laid up under a bridge when I was out in the street. You know, but I wasn't homeless.
Right.
But my thing is though that my heart. You have to have a heart for the people.
You got to have a heart for the people.
And then if you're a pastor, you have to have a heart for the people.
Right.
How can you pastor and don't have a heart for the people?
Well, you're not preaching the Bible, and you're not living the Bible.
That's right.
That's the thing. I believe in living out the Bible. I believe people should see Christ in me, and people should be able to see my walk. People should be able to say, you know what? Just like he loved God, he loves me as well.
Yeah.
And I just can't preach it about loving Jesus, but we got to love one another.
Right. And, and we have to. And so that I love to give. And so my thing is, though, it's well needed throughout this community that, our community, it hurts.
Yeah.
I can talk about it. We both can. That, matter of fact, Kenneth Boudreaux, the city councilman there, who goes to your church there.
Yes, he does.
Y'all partnered together and just did a Stop the Violence
prayer vigil.
A prayer vigil,
yes.
A few weeks ago, and I think that we need more of that. But I just think that we need to get down deeper in the community.
Yes.
We need to go where these dope dealers at. And these drug addicts. We need to go right where they at. And I think you're doing good. What you're doing, and I commend you for that. And I commend Kenneth Boudreaux, the city councilman here, for the stepping out. It take a man to step out.
Yes.
And be bold.
Yes.
We have to go to the enemy turf.
Right.
And take back.
You got to go to the enemy's camp.
Yeah.
And take back what he stole from us.
That's right.
One of the things I've learned in ministry, one of the churches I used to pastor, Magnolia was one of the Terrebonne Parish, one of the roughest area in Terrebonne Parish. And the last funeral I did, a young man got shot a block away from the church. But I used to go to the crack houses. I used to walk the neighborhoods. When they told me there was prostitution and drug dealers around the church, we would meet at the church at 10 o'clock at night and barbecue in front of the church and invite people to come. I believe if I'm called by God, I should have no fear.
That's right.
The Bible says we shouldn't have fear.
That's right.
And not be afraid. My favorite scripture is Psalm 27. Whom shall I be afraid?
That's right.
And God just laid that anointing on me and that vision. And what I've found out and what people don't realize, more young people are crying out to us, but they have seen that the church sometimes turn their back on them. And when I speak to young people on the street, I walk down the street by home and people would put their hand up and say, "Hey, Pastor Rob." And one of the things they always told me as young people, you never treat us no different.
Right.
And that's the thing. We have to get back to loving one another.
And we as pastors,
yes,
we lead by
example,
and we have to set the pattern for our young people,
yes,
in our community,
right.
And so that if we going to do this here, that we have to set the pattern for them and lead by example. You find these young people, they look up to us.
Yes.
So that I just say to you, man, thank you so much for being part of the show on today. And so that as the viewers are looking now, what would you tell these viewers today that's watching? What can you give them a word? That they can lean on that word. What would you share with them today?
What I would share for those out there viewing. Sometimes life seems hard. Sometimes you feel like you never can get ahead. But there's in the Bible that God always makes provisions. No matter what challenges you may face in life, lean and depend on God, and He'll make a way when there seems no way. One of the things I've learned, even as a pastor coming to this community, God always provided when I thought we wasn't going to make it. God always opened up a door when we thought there was a door closed. And every step of the way and every day in my ministry, God shows us so many blessings because I lean and depend on Him. And I ask Him to direct my path each and every day. And I always ask Him, let me be a blessing to somebody else. Because when you start blessing somebody else, God's favor always pass along you.
It sure will. And I just want to say I am Pastor Charles Banks, pastor of Fellowship Full Gospel Ministry here in the city of Lafayette. We hold service at the Days Inn Conference Room there in Truman, 1620 North University. We hold service every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock and Bible study at 7 o'clock, Bible study at 6 o'clock every Thursday. So we welcome you to come by and visit with us. And so I say to you on today that you put God first. We are walking into the new year, and so that I encourage you that what happened in 2015, let it be back in 2015, and walk with a new vision. Walk with a new mindset. And I had a sermon on Sunday. And my sermon was that I'm walking into my season.
Yes.
And so don't you allow the enemy to destroy nothing that God has given you. You walk with your head up and allow and let the devil know that I'm gonna stand with through it all. And sometimes the storm is going to come, but you can allow God to bring you through the storm.
That's right.
And that people say that I'm going through, but do you ever come out?
Yes.
Because the Word of God says, "Yea, I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I won't fear no evil." So one thing about it though is God is always with you in your storm and out your storm. So, Pastor Johnson, as we prepare to close here, would you please tell the viewers that the name of your church and the time and location?
Our church is Louisiana Avenue, 2700 Louisiana Avenue, Lafayette, Louisiana. Our worship experience is at 9 a.m. on Sundays, and our Bible studies on Wednesdays at 6:30. Hope to see you in the place.
Once again, thank you, Pastor Johnson. I am Pastor Charles Banks, and we will see you next time. God bless.
God bless you.